Welcome to another Tarot Share here at Serenity and Soul. We usually convene on the first and third Tuesdays of every month from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So for all of you people who get off work a little early, you can come on by and get some readings done by different people and try your hand at reading as well. We're here at 400 North Center Street in the Town Mall of Westminster, Maryland, 21157. We're near Eternity Dreams. We have a metaphysical shop as well as an event center and a wholesale area where we actually create sage, essential oils, and crystal healing bags, as well as we're working on getting together some affirmation jars. So this is all done right here in Westminster, Maryland. We are a 501c3 fund of the Community Foundation of Carroll County. And so all of the times that you come to shop here or that you pay for events here, if there is a charge associated with that, that goes into our retreat fund. We want to build a brick and mortar retreat place where everyone in Carroll County and beyond can come to learn more about holistic and metaphysical practices, one product, one service, one person at a time. So we're going to connect you to the magic within with our events. And so coming up on the 19th, which is this Thursday, we are having an amazing talk about H2 water bottles. And so this talks about bringing water into the Aquarian age and how water can be charged as well as programmed to benefit your body using new technologies. The talk is free. There will be certain bottles available for order. And then moving on, Thursday, the 26th, we have a Reiki share where anyone who wants to learn about Reiki, who is practicing Reiki, regardless of level, we do have a certified Reiki master who is going to either be helping us with that, or you can also get your Reiki certification level 1. Those spaces are limited on Sunday. That's going to be September 29th from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. and the charge is $100. So you can usually, when you look around, you'll see that your level 1 is usually about $200. So we were able to secure a good price with a certified Reiki master. So those are our events. Of course, we're also going to have we're having an event where we go to hang out with Mystic Zen in the mall. Shout out to Mystic Zen. They will be having that holistic fair the 19th and 20th of October. We'll also be participating in the trick or treat here in the mall on October 31st. And we've got a lot of fun events coming up in October that we're really excited to bring to you. So please check out our Facebook at www.facebook.com/Serenity and Soul. And it's all one word, and the "and" is spelled A-N-D, and the soul is spelled S-O-L. So those are our events. Let's get into this. This episode's Tarot Share is going to be about basic astrology for Tarot. So I'm going to go over the glyphs with you. I mean, this is a really basic course. There are a lot of great books on this, and I will give you some of those resources at the end. But let's start with our planets. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've been hearing a lot about the partial lunar eclipse that kind of hits the Aries-Libra axis, but it's going to affect Pisces and Virgo. We have a lot of North Node returns happening over the next 2 years in Pisces and in Virgo. And that means that people are going to be finding their true purpose if they have a North Node in Pisces, most specifically. Virgo is the South Node of that axis currently. So anything that you're comfortable with, expect it to get shaken up if your South Node is in Virgo, which mine is. But I also have my North Node in Pisces, so it's just a lot of stuff going on. So that lunar eclipse is happening tonight. It's partial, and from what I'm hearing, it's going to open a lot of doors and close a lot of doors for people who have major placements such as the moon, ascendant, sun, in, let's see, all of the mutable signs. So that means we've got Gemini, we've got Virgo, we've got Sagittarius, and we've got Pisces. So if you have major placements there, you're also going to be feeling a lot of stuff with this full moon in Pisces and this lunar eclipse, starting the lunar eclipse cycle of the Pisces and Virgo. So this is the very beginning. All right, so when I talk about the sun and I look at the sun in its glyph, so it's a circle with a dot right in the middle of it. This is the ruler of Leo. And whenever you see the sun, including the tarot card, you can think of that fiery, bright energy, right, that comes with creativity. So this is a wonderful creative thing. The sun also is an indication of our purpose. So sun, purpose, fiery, creative energy. All right, so the next one, now this is a waxing moon when it looks like this. If you turn it this way, this is the waning moon. So waxing moon is usually the symbol that is used for the moon, and the moon is that watery, intuitive, feeling kind of thing. It rules Cancer, and it is also an indication of our reactions. So how we react subconsciously. So when you see the moon, which we see that card, and it's like sort of the journey into the subconscious and the unconscious, we also see it in the High Priestess. So anytime you see the moon or an attribute, a card has an attribute to the moon, then you know that it's going to be about feelings and reactions. Then we have Mercury. And Mercury is, I call it the transaction planet because it moves between things. So these are things like law, business, communication. So anytime you see Mercury, you know it's sort of that quicksilver thought kind of stuff. The Magician, I believe, is Mercury, but don't quote me on that because I have not memorized all of this. I just sort of go with my intuitive feelings with the cards. So there's Mercury. Then we have Venus, which talks about our aesthetic, right? Yep, that's our aesthetic. So these are the things, this is where our sense of self-worth comes and what the worth that we place on other things, our aesthetic. So anytime that you see Venus, and you'll see it prominently in the Empress card, it is about creating a sense of value and worth to something. You know, that concept of women or the feminine magnifies, right? Like it looks like a magnifying glass, doesn't it? So it kind of multiplies everything, and it's about fertility and self-worth. All right. Then we have Mars, and Mars always represents the drive that is in someone. We'll see this. This is the ruler of Aries. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, and then Venus rules Taurus and something else, I think. I have it written down somewhere, but Mars, Aries, rules Aries, okay? And you'll see it on the Emperor card. Anytime you see this masculine symbol, right? Because Venus is the feminine, this is the masculine. So we're thinking about, power, we're thinking about drive, sort of single-focusedness, right? So the magnifying glass is actually being, I'm going the wrong way. It's actually being focused into something. All right, next one is going to be Jupiter, and there we are looking at opportunity, expansiveness. This is the ruler of Sagittarius, one of the most freewheeling zodiac signs. So this one rules, of course, Sagittarius, like I said. And then we have Saturn, which is the exact opposite of Jupiter. It is constrictive and limiting. In fact, along with Mars, it's considered a malefic planet, whereas Venus and Jupiter are considered benefic. So when you see Saturn somewhere, you know we're dealing with Father Time. We're dealing with restrictions and limitations that are imposed on our very human bodies. Um, this is the ruler of Capricorn, and it is also associated with the devil card, the devil card. Then we have Uranus. Yes, Uranus. That is how it's said. If you say it any other way, you're being silly. No, I'm just kidding. I don't gatekeep words. So you say it however you want to. But this is the ruler of Aquarius. And when you see Uranus, you know that things are going to get shaken up. This is the rebel planet. It turns on its axis on its side, which means that it doesn't do things the way that other planets do. So if you see this or it's associated with the tarot card, then you know that unexpected things are going to happen. Then we had the wonderful, mystical, watery Neptune, where things just aren't quite that clear. Here we have the ruler of Pisces, and this particular planet, when it's associated with the tarot card, means that there can be some kind of like hidden or occult stuff going on. So if it's associated with your tarot card, you know that you need to look at that stuff. And then finally, the last planet, not planet, is Pluto. All right, now at the top, you can see the old symbol, just in case you come across documents that I actually looked at when I was younger, or the new one, which basically makes it look like Mercury, but it's not Mercury. All right, so Pluto is the planet of transformation. It is also considered the planet of death. And so it rules Scorpio. And the really cool thing about Pluto is that when you see it associated with cards, even though they don't consider it a planet anymore, it has an incredible, powerful impact on whatever that tarot card is representing. It means change is coming. All right, so those are our planet. They're one, two, well, heavenly bodies. Let's call it that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 of them. All right, but there's 12 signs. So let's have a look. Oh, the thing that I wrote down isn't here anymore. I had it written down, but let's go over the signs. So this is Aries, ruled by Mars. All right, this deals with, so if you see anything associating it with Aries, it deals with identity. It's I am, right? And then we move on to Taurus, the bull, right? That's pretty much I acquire, right? All right, so this is the one that is ruled by Venus. It's about worth, right? It's about money. Taurians are very down to earth and they like their creature comforts. And then you have Gemini. This is ruled by Mercury. And this is also, I think, right? And then Cancer, a 6 and a 9 on its side. And this is ruled by the moon. And this is about home life. This is about childhood and maternal things. Leo. And this is ruled by the sun. So remember, the sun is about creativity, about purpose. And Leo also rules fortune as well as children. So, you know, think theater, creative kind of stuff, being out in the spotlight. When you see this sign, the Virgin, Virgo, is going to rule here, and this is service and health, right? So Virgo is about those practical things that make sure that we are well and that we are contributing to society. And let's see, what's hers? So Cancer is I feel, Leo is I will, and then Virgo is I analyze. So Virgo is also very detail oriented. The more you know about these things, because I'm just giving you like a brief thing to work with, but you're going to want to study some more and figure it out for yourself. But I'm showing you the things that you do want to focus on. So it's the planets, then it's the signs, and then we're going to go into the houses, which actually forms a spread. So then we have Libra. Libra is about balance. And yep, I balance. And so Libra is the one that tries to make sure that everybody's getting along and that things are fair. Ruled by Venus. So again, matters of worth. Then we have Scorpio. Scorpio is I desire, right? So things that this has been ruled by Venus before, and now it's ruled by Uranus. So it's not just desire, it's like quirky, maybe subliminal desires, things that are unexpected, also about self-worth. Scorpios dig really deep into self-worth. And then, ha 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 ha, I envision the Sagittarius, all right? So imagine just being pulled back and flung from a bow into the sky. And you've got sort of that freewheeling energy of Jupiter and expansion that Sagittarius represents. So this is I envision. So there's all kinds of things that you can do with the signs and the houses because there's 12 of them. And it means that there's going to be things that cross. So Gemini is I know, but Sagittarius, which is directly across from it, is I envision, right? So it's not just knowing, it's like creating almost, taking the power of Gemini and creating it through Sagittarius. All right, now this one is Capricorn. Now this one down here is the one I used to use because, that was the old version. Now this newer one up here, I've been learning how to use that, but they're both Capricorn, so don't let it confuse you. You're going to run across it in books. Capricorn, of course, is ruled by Saturn. Capricorn is very practical, and it's I apply, right? So Cancer is directly across from this, and that's I feel, right? So I feel is something that happens to you. I apply is when you take that emotion and you put it into application and say, okay, we felt this thing, we've got a plan now. And then we have Aquarius. No, Scorpio is Pluto. I'm sorry. Scorpio is Pluto. I was thinking Aquarius. Aquarius is Uranus. Pluto is transformation and death. So when I said Scorpio had some kind of quirky, that's really what I mean. Like deep, weird stuff that can happen with Scorpio, but they're very much about transformation. And then Uranus is the one that rules Aquarius. And Aquarius is our rebel. And it's actually, it's like, I know. You know how Aquarians can be. They know what they know. But it can be shocking for people when they actually do speak. So anytime you see Aquarius energy, you're looking at the water bearer, which is also part of temperance too. And if you'll notice the sort of the double waves and everything of that sort, that also kind of mimics Libra. So these signs get very, very interesting and complex. They're not just these, you can have a keyword. The keyword is supposed to represent a kind of concept, an overarching concept that's full of complexity. So that when you see a sign like this, like Pisces, which is the two fish pulling away from each other, you get an entire influx of information about what this potentially could mean. And Pisces is I believe, right? And this one is ruled by Neptune, right? And belief is something you have to do when you don't know all the facts. So you sort of just run with what you've got. And so this one is Pisces. Now, each of these rules a house. So in the order that I showed you, so this is house 1, house 2, house 3, house 4, house 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, they actually have their own meanings, right? So it gets layered. So first house is about identity. The second is about currency. All right, so aesthetic is also here, but currency, things that move, such as money. Communication is house 3. The house 4 is about your origins, where your family came from, your childhood. 5 is about creativity. 6 is about Dharma, and that's spelled Dharma, and that is for service. Health is also found here, the body. 7 is about partnerships. So you hear about how Libra is always on the arm of somebody. Well, it's because they rule the house of relationships. 8 is what I consider the house of shadow work. 9 is about vocation, the things that you do to become, to perform your vocation, such as study, learning about philosophy, traveling and expanding your mind. 10 is about your reputation and what you did to get there. It also includes the father, or the outside face of the family, traditionally speaking, in the home. And then 11 is about collectives and groups. And then house 12 is about karma and life lessons. So planets, signs, and then houses. All right. If you know these 3 things and have a basic grasp of it and a basic understanding, you're going to start being able to apply it to your tarot readings. So there is a very cool deck that I have that has disappeared. Where did it go? It was pink and, huh? Is it? No, it was in a pink. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Of course, I put it in front. This deck is really awesome. All right, so basically what it does is it shows you, so you can see here that Uranus, right here, oh, right there, Uranus is associated with the Fool according to this deck. There's Mercury. I was right, Mercury and the Magician, but I don't have these memorized, which is one of the reasons why I got the deck, right? So you can get a deck like this. I'm trying to see. Do they have print instructions in here? Stuart R. Kaplan is the person who did that. He did the foreword for it, and then they have no publication details in here whatsoever. But another really good book that you would want to get is The Only Astrology Book You'll Ever Need. That's the name of it. The Only Astrology Book You'll Ever Need. It's by Joanna Martine Woolfolk, and that's Woolfolk. Another really good, so if you're more of a Wiccan leaning person, this one will be brilliant for you. It's called Practical Astrology for Witches and Pagans, and it is by Ivo Dominguez. Anything by Ivo is incredibly good. It brings it right down into practical application. He explains things very clearly. Same with The Only Astrology Book You'll Ever Need. Just plain language. You're not trying to figure out what the author is talking about. It's very clear. I'm also going to make an effort to post my little thing that I put together I'm going to actually start a Tarot Share Facebook group where I could put all of these things, because it doesn't really work out here on the live. And so if you join the Tarot Share group, I will announce that when I started, you'll be able to get resources like this. I'll have the books and everything. Another really, really good book, if you're interested in astrology, the Human Design book by Chetan Parkin. You can go ahead on, and it actually has information on how to get your chart in this book, but you can go online to Human Design. Just put that in there, and introduce you to another layer of astrology if you want to go deeper. Now, my favorite astrology site to get any kind of information, especially charts and stuff, is Astrodienst. And you just put ASTRODIENST into Google, and it'll take you right there. Now, it's not the same Earl. It'll be like Cafe Astrology or something like that. But very reliable. You can get your birth chart, but here's what you're going to need if you want to get an accurate birth chart and look at that. So it's going to be your birth date, right? So it's the month, the day, and the year. You're going to need your birth time exact. It's usually on birth certificates now. And you're going to need to know the town and state or province and country that you were born in, because everything for some reason goes back to Greenwich Mean Time. And so, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the calculations that they need that exact birth time, but really that one is so that you can figure out what your ascendant is, because the ascendant changes every 2 hours. I know just enough about astrology to be dangerous, but not enough to be able to teach a master course in it. So keep in mind that the tarot uses more than just astrology. It uses the elements, it uses numerology, it uses mythology, symbolism from various cultures, monotheistic as well as pagan religions. So the tarot is very complex, and this is just an introduction to astrology for tarot. So hopefully we will see you on the 1st of October, which is our next tarot share. I am probably going to do a community reading at that time, just because we're all going to be gasping for air and trying to recover from this lunar eclipse and full moon, super moon, all that nonsense. So maybe we can see a way through. We're here at 400 North Center Street in Westminster, Maryland, at the Town Mall of Westminster, which used to be the Cranberry Mall. And we have a metaphysical store as well as an event center and a wholesale. And we're right near Eternia Dreams. And right after this, we're going to be sitting down with our friends and doing readings and learning more about tarot. So please consider coming next time, because we would love to see you. Have a wonderful, wonderful couple of weeks. Namaste, and stay safe out there.